Imagine a time when two powerful empires were battling for control over a crucial region, a time when ancient kingdoms clashed for dominance in a part of the world that would shape history. We're diving into the intense struggle between the kingdom of Aksum and the mighty Sasanian Empire, all taking place in the 6th century over the control of South Arabia. So picture this, it's the 520s, and the kingdom of Aksum, an influential power from the Horn of Africa, decides to make a bold move by invading South Arabia. Their target, the Himyarite kingdom, which was under the rule of tumultuous, a king infamous for persecuting the Christian community in Najran. The Aksumites, with their strong Christian background, weren't having it. They launched an invasion, took over the Himyarite kingdom, and kicked tumultuous out of power. Fast forward to the year 570, and things are getting tense. The Himyarite kingdom, now under Aksumite control, isn't happy about being ruled by outsiders. Their leader, Saif ibn the Yazan, decides it's time to shake things up. He asks the Byzantine Empire for help, but they turn him down. So, what does he do? He turns to the Persians, and Khosrau, the Sasanian king, agrees to lend a hand, but with a catch. If they win, Himyarite territory would become part of the Sasanian Empire. The Persian forces roll into South Arabia and deliver a series of crushing defeats to the Aksumites, starting with the Battle of Hadramaut and then the Siege of Sana'a. By the time the dust settles, the Aksumites have been pushed out of most of the Arabian Peninsula, holding on only to Najran. The Persians take control, and Saif ibn the Yazan is appointed as the governor. But things don't stay peaceful for long. Just 4 years later, Yazan is assassinated by his Aksumite servants, which prompts the Sasanians to launch another invasion. By 578, they've completely re-established their rule in Yemen, marking the end of Aksumite influence outside Ethiopia. Now, with the Persians firmly in control, they set up military garrisons across South Arabia. This period is notable because it led to the rise of a mixed community known as Al-Abna. These were people of both Persian and Arab descent, born from the intermarriages between Persian soldiers and local Arab women. The Al-Abna would later play a key role during the rise of Islam, with many of them joining the early Muslim community. And after Saif ibn the Yazan's call for help, the Persian Empire decided to step in. Khosrau I, the Persian king, sent one of his top generals, Warez, along with his son Nauzad, to lead a mission to Yemen. It's around 570 CE, and this Persian expedition isn't massive, just a small force of around 800 elite Dalamite cavalrymen. They set sail on 8 ships, navigating the treacherous waters around the Arabian Peninsula. Despite losing 2 ships along the way, they successfully landed in the Hadramaut region in southern Arabia. Now, estimates on the size of the Persian force vary. Some sources say there were as many as 16,000 men, but what's clear is that these soldiers were well trained and ready for battle. The Persians moved swiftly, seizing the Bahrain Islands and then advancing to Sohar, the capital of historical Oman. They didn't stop there. They captured Dhofar, took control of the rest of Hadramaut, and finally landed in Aden, a key port city. However, during these early skirmishes, Warez's son, Nauzad, was killed by Aksumite forces. This loss hit Warez hard, and he made it his mission to take down the Ethiopian ruler of Yemen, Masruk ibn Abraha. At the Battle of Hadramaut, Warez's forces achieved a decisive victory, and Warez personally executed Masruk. This marked the turning point in the conflict, forcing the Aksumites to retreat. The Persians then moved on to besiege and capture Sana'a, the Yemeni capital. With Sana'a secured, Warez reinstated Saif ibn the Yazan as the king of Himyar, but now as a vassal under the Sasanian Empire. One of the keys to the Persian victory was their advanced military technology, like the penjagan, a kind of weapon that the local forces had never seen before. After securing the region, Warez returned to Persia with a considerable amount of booty, celebrating their success. But the story doesn't end there. A few years later, between 575 and 578 AD, Saif ibn the Yazin was murdered by his own Ethiopian servants. The Aksumites saw this as an opportunity and quickly moved back into the region to reclaim their lost power. But the Sasanians weren't going to let that slide. They launched a second invasion, again led by Warez, but this time with a larger force of 4,000 men. This second campaign was swift and decisive. The Sasanian Empire completely annexed Yemen, making it a province under their direct control, with Warez installed as the governor. And that's how the Sasanians secured their grip on Yemen, maintaining control over the region until the rise of Islam in the early 7th century. This was a period of intense power struggles, where alliances were forged and broken, and where empires clashed over strategic territories that would influence the course of history.